Antique. Today we're going to be doing some fall seasoning. We're going to be putting some nice herbs and spices on the old on the old season.
But before we begin,
we're going to have a quick recap, quick chat about what we watched last season and what we thought about what we watched. I guess I'll probably start because I only have three shows. And I'll start with the shows that I reckon we can kind of knock out each other because we probably watched them. Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone's alright. It's good. It's fun. Science is good. It's good stuff. Highly recommended.
That was a very Star Trek Discovery line. Science is good.
Yeah, science is good. Okay. Yeah.
technology is good.
Is fun. Yeah.
No downside whatsoever.
I like math.
Yeah, I can't wait till Dr. Stone makes Beth. It's gonna be great. Well, he's working on the antibiotics, so maybe
That's a little bit more.
When are we going to get like the H. Dojin spin-off that's just titled Dr. Stones, and it's about drugging the other girls or something?
Dr. Stone,
you know it's gonna happen.
Dr. Stone invents Viagra.
Why not?
But Dr. Stone's really fun. I quite enjoy it. I think it's a very interesting kind of different type of shonen, right? Like it's a very it's not very battle focused. It's more kind of, hey, here's we're working down the tech tree almost, right? Like it feels like a fucking modern Minecraft Let's Play. He's working down the tech tree to get to the fun shit. But I like Dr. Stone. So what do you guys think of Dr. Stone? Because I know Ali, you've watched it. So what do you reckon?
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of somewhat an educational, just by how it explains where the science comes from. It basically explains the basics of your modern day technology, and it's as a fun. I know some idiot says it's an isekai, but it has the quality of starting in a new world, and you see the progression. You can even say level. I mean, I believe that in some point they say they leveled up in technology, so you can even see it in that way where you progress, a sense of progression. That's has Dr. Stone also.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. What about you, Lolly? Did you watch Dr. Stone?
I've yet to watch it. The only things I'm caught up on currently is Fire Force, Granblue, and Machikado.
Oh, we'll do Fire Force next thing because we'll all watch that.
Oh.
Fire Force is good. I think Fire Force. My only issue with Fire Force, I think the pacing's a bit fast. I think we're
really fast.
We're moving at like lightning fucking speed, or at least it feels like we're moving like through the story at like a lightning pace. And I think that's kind of a problem because it's we're getting a 24 episode core of this, so it's not like they don't.
Oh, I thought it was going to be 52.
No, I'm looking. Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? It's just I'm looking at Kiritsu right now, and it lists 24, but I guess that's just for the first half because I'm guessing they're splitting it into halves. But yeah, it's been confirmed that it's getting like 52 episodes, so I don't know why they're going so fucking fast. Like, it feels like
it is a mystery.
It feels like they have the room to maybe like slow a few of these events down a little bit and kind of.
Yeah, they actually do need to develop the characters a bit better. Like, one of the things you can definitely do with a longer anime adaptation over just, doing the straight manga adaptation is you can actually do things like, episodes that weren't in the original source material. I know some people consider that heretical. For me, you can use that to, like, develop the characters a bit better,
Now, if the pacing problems were a problem in the manga, I feel like you're correct in that you could use, like, I know fillers.
What is the manga like? Because I haven't
read it either, but it's made by the same person who made Soul Eater, so I assume it's.
I'll have to check that out then.
Yeah,
because
I would do that.
Compare the pacing of it.
Yeah, but if it's true that the pacing in the manga is just as quick as what they're shown in the anime. I honestly feel it would have been better to, like you said, maybe not even like anime original stuff, but just maybe spend more time on a few things.
Yeah, add some scenes, you know.
Yeah, add some scenes, maybe spend a little bit more time like talking about specific events, explaining different things, having character moments, that kind of thing. And of course, filler is obviously a dirty word, but sometimes it works. It depends, kind of. Like, you know.
Extra characterization isn't bad.
Yeah.
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 No, it can help increase
But
audience investment in characters.
Other than that criticism, it's been really enjoyable. Like, the animation's really nice, really crisp, really fancy, quite enjoyable. Obviously, they've nailed the fire effects quite well. OP and ending are fucking great. Every time I hear them, fucking really into that. And yeah, I've been enjoying Fire Force. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I don't have very much to add because it's a fun action show. You know, I'm not feeling the main character that much because he isn't really that well. I don't. He's a little bit bland.
He's one of the least interesting characters in a cast of interesting characters. Like his backstory's all right. He has some good moments, but he is kind of bland compared to everyone else. No, my favorite character is the fucking the blonde tuning guy. I forget his name.
Arthur.
It's all Arthur. Yeah.
He's great.
He's probably my favorite. Like one of the gags that they put in, and like nobody commented on this, but it was the funniest shit. Was when he realized that his attacks were weaker because he was using his left hand rather than his dominant hand.
Yeah.
Which I think was just him trying to feel special or something, and it's like, that was so good.
Yeah, I love that. It was fucking hilarious. I remember that when he did that, I just cracked up. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's got its moments. It's definitely got its moments. I'm pretty pleased with it. So I guess since I'll go on to the last one for me, and then you guys can go on to yours. I've been watching Demon Slayer. So Kenshu no Yumba, or whatever you call it.
It's one of the leftovers, really technically. The season
it's one of the
before
It's one of the left. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna cover it kind of quick, because it's leftover. But it's really good. I think Ufotable have really outdone themselves on this one. It's good because it doesn't. Because the thing with Ufotable for me, a lot of the time I've found that their shows seem to kind of have a bit of that same sort of feel to them in terms of the special effects work. But in Yuma, they really outdone themselves with making it feel different and making it feel very manga-esque and very unique. And it's been a very interesting ride following the show for the last couple of seasons. I think it's definitely one of the better shows to come out this year, and I can see it getting quite a lot of awards and quite a lot of acclaim based on what I've seen. It's good. It's really good. I highly recommend it. That's pretty much all I need to say about Demon Slayer. So, you guys, what have we missed?
So, I watched a couple of things. I watched less than I set out to do, but you know, that's always the case, of course. Danmachi picks up where it left off. It has a fun. It tackles prostitution. It
it tackles prostitution. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the next major thing outside of slavery and like isekai? Is prostitution naturally.
Yeah, maybe.
We gotta go through all of that shit.
When's J.K. Haru giving its OVA adaptation? We need to fund that shit right now.
Maybe a Sunday. But you know, prostitution is not often tackled, and Damachi tackles it pretty well. So, I like the series and how it goes.
That's good.
Then Dumbbell. How many dumbbells can you lift? It's just a fun show, fun characters.
I've watched Best Guy Ever put out a really good video about that because he's a fucking fitness nerd, so he's very very into it. I reckon it does look really, really fun. I just haven't gotten around to it, and that, and I'm a lazy ass. So probably. But yeah, it looks good. So
I mean, it's fun characters. The show is funny, and you learn some fitness techniques, even if you never ever try them.
yeah.
Then Tsujo Kogeki ga Setai Kogeki ni Nikai de Kogeki Okasa no Suki desu
In
ka?
English.
All localized as Okasan Online.
Okay.
Oh, Mommy Isekai.
Yeah, mommy.
Yeah.
Not really isekai.
So I guess I should say that I kind of dropped it after one episode because I didn't feel it. I think I mentioned this on another cast, or I've definitely mentioned it to you guys, but it's just it didn't click with me. The humor just didn't, like, it was way, like, I wanted something to be that was a bit more, maybe not serious, but like kind of a bit more serious, like something that was a bit more like they were transported to the fantasy world and it was like actually serious, and the humor came from the fact that, oh, my mum's with me and I have to like explain all of this like weird shit and all this other stuff, and the mum being like overpowered but not like knowledgeable of the world and stuff, and that causing problems. I feel like that would have been more what I would have liked rather than what we got, which was kind of this sort of really weird gag type. Everything's goofy, everything's really like not serious at all type thing. But that's just really a personal preference of mine. And I don't think that the quality of the show, like, I wouldn't say the quality of the show is terrible because of it. I just think that in my personal thoughts, I would have preferred something a bit more serious. But I'll let you go, Ali, since you've watched more of it.
Yeah, I like this show. It's not. It's maybe it's me. It's you could say it's mediocre, maybe a little bit below mediocre, but I like the interaction of Masato and Wise, the redheads.
Mm.
Um, should I click here? No, what? Yeah, why not? Why? Yeah, I'm doing stuff that you can see. Um,
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, I like Wise. I don't like Medhi. Porta is fine. Um, yeah, I'm basically watching for the interactions between Masato and Wise because they are a
Right.
fun couple together. My
Interesting.
OTP.
Best girl, do not steal.
Yeah.
But no, that's fine. Like, again, I think my issues with it are more just sort of it's an issue of expectations versus reality, and just my personal preferences in terms of the types of shows that I like. I'm not super into the idea of just goofy type stuff that's just goofy like that. But hey, if it's fun, it's enjoyable, you're liking it, that's great.
hmm
So what else have we got?
I watched a lot, so I'll just pick up the pace. Um, Oh, Maidens in Your Savage Season. I got the Japanese title. I believe I had it changed, but whatever. Um, yeah, it's about youth, about discovering sex, about discovering liking the other gender or the same gender, and all the troubles and drama and all that stuff that comes with it. Awkward relationships, awkward interactions, changing friendships to dating, from friendship to ruining the friendship, etc.
Something that is completely unrelatable to most people who watch anime because most of them probably weren't in relationships in high school.
Yeah, this is one that I've got on my like to catch up on list because you've been talking about it quite a bit and you've been posting memes from it quite a bit. So I have definitely been interested in it. I just have it in the back burner, and I'll probably
yeah,
get around to it at some point.
I intend to watch it, but at the same time, I've been really hesitant because I do not like Mary Okada as a writer.
How?
I really don't. I haven't liked her since Fractal, and I still don't like her
Oh,
now.
I haven't watched Fractal, but I do like this one. It's so, you feel for these kids, and that's
Mm.
it. And you follow a bunch of characters, and you see them grow fairly quickly, but not as in Fire Force where you feel like it's too fast. It feels very natural, even the quick growth.
Feel for them as they feel each other.
Yeah,
Alright.
very literally. Isekai Cheat Magician. I thought it had an interesting premise. They kind of wasted their premise, so I stopped watching it. Katana no Astra or Astra of the Stars, something like that. I have the Japanese titles again. It I w- I was hoping for a little bit for more Star Trek, and it's a little bit more school camp adventure. So too bad. The Fate spin-off, Real Zeppelin.
Yeah, that's another one I have on the back burner that I want to get back to because I watched the episode 0 of that and I thought it was pretty good. So,
Yep, it's pretty good.
yeah.
High quality. It's we wouldn't believe it's not ufotable stills.
You would just it should be like a seal or something that you put on like the packaging of a food product. You wouldn't believe it's not UFO table.
Indeed.
I mean, controversial opinion here. You can tell it's not ufotable because the characters' designs aren't fucked. Look, Fate Unlimited Blade Works had really, like, fucked character designs. Like, I kept, every time I saw Ren, like, because of how they drew her nose and, like, how it, like, interacted with her mouth, I kind of expected, like, you know, a tongue, like, it was like a vertical slit to just kind of lick occasionally.
Fucking hell.
Her face was so long. It was so weird.
But yeah. Anyway, back to the show. Yeah, I it seemed like a interesting show from what I watched.
Yeah, and it's fun, magical mysteries. Somebody is cut into pieces. There's a body part, and there's a body part. Oh, of course, that's because it represents this, and that's this magic, and it's all perfectly logical. And if you press this button, a zombie appears. Oh,
yeah,
of course.
It's Sherlock Holmes with magic.
Yep.
But yeah, that's good. So,
I don't know, accelerator, a certain accelerator. Plan to watch it. Haven't got around to it.
You can hear Bio just running towards the computer because I know he's quite into that stuff.
Yeah, but the Index series is fun, but I haven't been able to watch it. One day I'll watch everything. Hensik.
You know, all of these years later, I still haven't gotten into Index.
I've watched Railgun. I haven't watched Index itself, but I've watched the Railguns. I think I've can't remember which one, all the ones I've watched, but I've watched a few of the Railguns, and it's good. It's fine.
I like the massive universe of the Index series.
Yeah, they've built the reason it's so massive is because the fucking writer of these fucking novels or whatever is a fucking mad lad. Bio was talking about this with me and a few people a while ago, and he was talking about how the guy like just sits at a desk and just fucking writes like 24/7, and just there was apparently a thing where he was like submitting work to the publisher, and the publisher was literally telling him, "No, please stop. It's too much. Stop. We can't take anymore."
But the lore!
Yeah, like he's just pumping.
The lore demands
he's just
it.
pumping out fucking pages like a printer, and he's like apparently he was like sick or some shit with some parasite, and he just kept fucking working like a mad lad. So that's why Index / Railgun / all of that shit has like all of this shit to it, because he just won't stop. He's the human content machine, as Digi would put it. He's just fucking mental.
You know, it's always funny. He got his start writing, like, he first started publishing Index when he was, like, 14 or something?
Yeah, something like that, I heard.
He was younger, he was younger than the Sword Art Online creator, and yet, even out the gate, he was still a better writer.
Well, not everybody can be a professional right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Some people are brainless, it can't be helped.
Alright, what else have we got?
Hensuki, I was planning to watch it, haven't come around to it, because really it's a kind of a fun, edgy harem show. you know, one day I'll be in the mood of it and I'll watch it, but I haven't watched it. Copcraft, I watched it. I haven't gotten really into it far because I had other things to do. But
It's a fun setting. Like
yeah,
having started watching it, like it's a fun setting, but I can see where a lot of the complaints about both animation and direction come from. Like it's a very mixed bag, and I think people had higher expectations going into it than what they put out. But I would watch it for the setting alone because it is a very unique take on things.
yeah.
Plus, cop stories for me, I've always liked them. So
Apparently, the guy who dies in the first episode, spoilers, has the
Spoils.
ooh,
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
shares a name with another famous cop noir character who also dies right away. So if you're into the,
I forget what was his name.
I have no idea. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
I
I'm
can't
right.
remember.
But anyway, he's
Later.
the guy also says something like, "Look at my wife. Here's my wife's picture," and then of course he dies.
Yeah, no, like you kind of knew it right away. It's like, yep, he's a write-off. Here's my wife and our beautiful children standing in front of the sports bar I opened, and I plan to do this right after I retire, just tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh no, that guy has a gun.
Oh no.
I do want to point out the good contrast between the fantasy realm, the introduction of the fantasy realm with the big boat that is painted versus the 3D model of the military ship. It's a good way to distinguish the fantasy and the science just with these two
Yeah.
styles.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It was a nice little touch, but yeah.
All right. So, is there anything else we need to talk about, or shall we move on?
Yeah. So pretty lot. Well, I've one.
Machikado is
I've two. Yeah, I said I watched a lot. Mouse Summon Retry. Found it boring after the first episode. Didn't watch it further. Joseiku no Musudakai. Well, I'm saying it wrong. Here on
some show that's on the list.
On the screen. I'm playing the video. Watch it. I watched an episode. I find it really funny. I'm definitely going to watch it later. It's just a collection of weird, fun characters. Now we're at the demon girl next door.
Machikado. It's cute. It's cute. It's fun. If you like if you like the whole bullying aspect for Cydonia and Gabriel Dropout, it's great because the entire thing is that I'm like halfway through it, like episode 6-ish as the time of this recording, and I'm not gonna lie, the humor is kind of starting to wear. Like,
right.
It's enjoyable enough, but like once the humor wears, like the show isn't particularly fantastically animated. It's more on the low budget side. So if the humor starts falling flat, it's going to be something that's going to be a bit harder for me to get through. Outside of that, I've been watching Granblue. It's kind of a magical girl super robot hybrid. Basically, this girl has to, and it's interesting because a lot of people kind of were turned off because they were using super deformed robots. But I kind of appreciated that as like a visual distinction because it makes sense that, for something more girly, like the robots would be more cutesy or whatever. The show's a lot more serious than I expected going into it. But overall, it's been great. They actually 2D animate the robots, which is rare nowadays, so that alone is nice. So yeah, I'd actually suggest if you haven't started watching that, to actually consider picking it up, like whenever. like whenever there's a lull in something and you can knock it out within like a day, I would actually suggest marathoning it. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's good.
Was that it?
Of course, we're forgetting the best anime to come out this fucking season.
Tell.
Girls Frontline Healing Chapter.
Oh, I'm not in the Girls Frontline, so I literally do not give a shit.
I don't.
The only thing I've seen of it is somebody edited Half-Life sounds over a skit, and it was actually pretty good.
Let me ask you a quick. How do you feel about Taiwanese? how do you feel about a Chinese dub? Because
I've watched a few. I've watched some movies that were in Cantonese dialect,
yeah. So I'll talk about it a little bit because I mean it wasn't on the seasonal chart, but it's something that I care about. So fuck it. So Girls Frontline Healing Chapter is just a bunch of really cute little.
Oh no, it
skits
is.
Yeah. Oh, why was it on the last thing? Oh
yeah,
well,
it's in Chinese, so it's.
It's in Chinese, yeah. So it's just a bunch of it's like short little 3-minute thing. You can find them on YouTube, like they get posted to YouTube and translated really quickly. It's just little tiny cutesy little skits with all the cute little gun waifus doing really cute things, and sometimes they get really, really interesting with them. The last episode was a Gurren Lagann parody, and it was really fucking funny. It was really good with Soap Bob transforming the robot and then not having any power to attack. It was quite funny. So if you're into Girls Frontline, I recommend them. I think even if you don't play Girls Frontline, there's still quite funny skits, even if you might not get some of the referential humor that's in them. But yeah, it's just a cute little thing that's fun to watch when it comes out. So yeah, that's really the only last thing that I can think of to talk about before we move on to fall.
Yeah, because
So,
I think that's it. I don't think that any of us watched Restage Dream Days or
No,
Try
I don't think
Nights. I do want to
No.
mention Tenja Senpai, Magician Senpai.
Oh yeah, that's another
It's
one
it's
that
a
was
fun,
very popular.
kind of low budget, short, and that's
Yeah.
all basically all you need to say. It's fun.
Yeah. All right. So, shall we jump right into it then? So, starting off, we've sorted this by popularity. So we're going to talk about the most popular stuff first, and then we'll talk about apparently the least popular stuff last. And obviously, the most hype of the hypes, the biggest of the biggest, My Hero Academia Season 4 is going to be the first one. Now, I watched My Hero Academia. I think it's alright. I think it's definitely the shoneniest of the shonens. I feel like it's the Naruto for the modern age a little bit. That's kind of the feel that I get from it. I've heard really good things about the coming arc, so I'm very interested to see what direction the story's going to take in that. And yeah, I guess it's not a whole lot to say. It's more My Hero Academia. So if you're into that, you're into that. If you're not into that, then
Yeah, and I'm not into it. I read the manga for a bit and then I lost interest, and anime came and I read the manga already. So why would I watch the anime and then the manga? The anime surpassed what I read in the manga, but I'm still not interested. So I, etc.
yeah. So yeah, it's. I think it's definitely. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I do think that some of the criticisms levied at it. I think it's overhyped. Personally, I think a lot of people, especially after the school exam arc, a lot of people overhyped My Hero Academia quite a bit. But I think it's still enjoyable, so I'm gonna be watching My Hero Academia definitely. Just because I've started now, so I might as well fucking continue.
No, I just remembered where I fell off. This was basically in the middle of the big tournament between the classes.
Right, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
I don't think Lolly's got anything to say about Hero
No.
Academia.
He's busy eating food.
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, it's more I had to go get up to do something. But yeah, no, yeah, no, I have no interest in that train wreck, so I don't care.
train
Rip.
wreck.
F. Press F. Press F. in the chat.
It's cape shit.
It's cape shit.
It's just cape shit.
Kind of.
Alright. So moving on from cape shit to sword shit, we've got a Sword Art Online, which I think is the second part of the
Now,
current...
train wrecks I unfortunately boarded because a friend dragged me through the first season like a few years back, and yeah, so I've unfortunately boarded on that train to see it where it leads.
I have only watched Gun Girl or Gun fucking whatever, because that's the only one I cared about, because guns I didn't care about. Like the first one, I obviously, like, I already knew all of the shit, right? Like I'd already seen people shit on it, and I already know what happened, so there's not much like fucking point. So I was like, fuck it, I'll watch Gun Gale or whatever, and I'll see if I'm into
Yeah,
it.
but when they shit on it, they shit on it on the most basic level. Like, there's so many like individual things that every time you at least watch the first season, there's a bunch of really weird storytelling decisions, and there's a bunch of weird directorial decisions that it's kind of a nice little case study in how. I can't even really say how not to tell a story, because, I mean, a lot of people watch it. It's number 2 popularity, so apparently
Yeah.
they're doing something right.
It's not. Yeah, it's weird because it's not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm personally not interested in any more Sword Art Online. I think I definitely jumped off the train after Gun Gale / whatever the one was after that, because it was tied to the same season.
I'm pissed with the new game that's coming out. They're ditching the game universe and just shifting back to the anime's universe, which means that any of the game characters people actually gave a shit about just aren't going to be there
and
anymore.
apparently, I also heard they're taking out the rape.
Well, there are on the console, and they're probably going for a
Yeah,
T rating, so
probably, yeah.
I doubt that. Here's the thing: I
but
know
of
the
course-
article.
Yeah.
The article in particular, or on A&N, made it seem like tried to kind of spin it like outcry towards it led to it, and it's like, no, that's not the case at all. They just want to hit the I'm not sure what the rating is over there, but over here they want to hit the PG-13 rating, or the teen rating.
You can't have that shit. But you see, you had people like Caniper Effect on Twitter who were fucking celebrating it because it's like, oh, the censorship definition's been so broadly done that removing child rape is censorship, and it's like, fucker, you watch Berserk. Like, fuck.
It's a very typical Twitter take to like completely be so like lack such a understanding of the world and how shit works, and also lack self-awareness that you think that your e-brigading is something that people on the other side of the world actually give a flying fuck about.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so Sword Art Online, not gonna watch it. I'm not into it. What about you, Ellie? Are you gonna board the train?
Well, I'm a secret fan, and I should defend Kirito in every forum ever. No.
Yeah. You're a secret fan. You secretly do think it's an isekai.
Yeah.
Okay, Mother's Basement.
Oh no, Lolly exposed my true identity.
Oh no. You put
that explains the communism.
You put on the European accent just to try and hide it.
Damn,
I would like to hear Ellie try to do a Canadian accent.
I can't. I wouldn't even know how a Canadian accent even is.
Oh fuck! What would it be? It would be like.
You just have to. You have to put on your most douchebaggy voice, and you can come across as anybody who was born in Toronto.
Well,
no.
Well, if you think about it, I'm right.
Right.
You should clip that out and post it as its own thing. If you think about it, I'm right.
Yeah.
But to get to the point now, I watched the first season, the first Sword Art Online season, and I'll defend myself for watching a piece of anime. I watched. I like the world that it's the settings of the shows, but
Mm.
I stopped watching somewhere half. Oh no, I think I even finished the gun Kirito season, but
Yeah.
I didn't. I lost interest after that. So and
See,
this is very much a continuation from what I'm seeing. So it's
yeah,
kind of pointless to jump in here.
yeah, I agree. And I do. Before we move on, I do want to touch on that. I think Sword Art Online has a really interesting. Again, the world and the concept is really good. I just feel like it's wasted potential a little bit. I think that there's.
Yeah, it's an amateur writer,
Yeah,
like when he
yeah,
wrote it, so it's just like, who cares?
yeah. But
We watch
anyway,
it for the train wreck. People watch it
yeah.
for the train wreck at this
So
point.
anyhow, moving on to number 3, we've got Seven Deadly Sins, which I haven't watched at all. I've heard it's okay things about it.
Yeah,
It's weird
same.
because Seven Deadly Sins is something that is apparently really, really fucking popular, but no one talks about it. like,
And that's really popular in China.
yeah, yeah, it's weird. It's one of those things where it's like everyone talks about Seven Deadly Sins. Oh no, everyone apparently watches it and it's apparently super popular, but I never see anybody talk about it. And it's out its 3rd season now, so it must be doing something right.
Yeah, I see. I am maybe I'm wrong. I do see a Chinese zodiac, so who knows? Maybe that's why it's popular.
I'm
No,
not. I'm
I
not.
don't
I'm
believe
not.
dragons
I'm
are
not sure.
included in the zodiac. Snake?
Mm.
It's actually interesting because a few years back, the director was actually saying how the production costs were paid off via streaming over was it Bilibili or something like that? Whatever their streaming services over
Yeah.
there.
That's the one in Japan, in China. The Blibli. I know because the Girls Frontline devs use that to stream a bunch of shit. So yeah, that's interesting. So I guess moving on, we got Food Wars, which is getting its 4th season apparently. I've watched quite a bit of Food Wars. I can't remember when I dropped off. I think it might have been either last season 2, maybe. I think I dropped off. I know I've missed one of the seasons. Yeah, Food Wars is alright.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not.
more Food Wars. I believe on myself I dropped off in somewhere in the second half of the first season.
Yeah.
But
I,
no, it's Food Wars, so you know what it is from the second season onwards, second episode
yeah.
onwards.
Apparently
Guy
didn't.
Fieri isn't in it. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think it's Food Wars is alright. It's enjoyable. I reckon you can get quite a lot of enjoyment out of it. I hear that it gets a bit if later on, but whatever.
I mean,
Next up,
it would be
oh yeah,
it wouldn't go as far as the manga was, so it should be still fine.
yeah, probably. Next up we have, interestingly enough, Psychopaths 3.
Yeah,
So that's an interesting one. Now, first season of Psychopaths is fucking great. It's really good. It's fucking fantastic. The second season of Psychopaths is fucking horrifically terrible.
Oh yeah, no. It's bad on the point where they introduce a plot premise. I'm not going to spoil it, but they introduce a plot premise so bad it retroactively ruins the first season. I think the only other anime I had that happen with is Jormungand, because Jormungand seasons 2, what the main plot point that the entire show revolved around was so retarded. The ending was so retarded and pretentious that I actually went back and, because me and my friends were keeping a score chart because we were like live watching stuff together, and I actually went back and lowered the score to like from like an 8 for the first season to like a 4.
Yeah.
That's how bad the ending to Jormungand is.
Yeah, and Psychopath season 2, I would say, is very fucking simple. Like, I wouldn't say it ruins the first season, because you can watch the first season and not even touch the second season and you'll be fine. And that's honestly what I recommend. Just fucking avoid that shit like the fucking plague, because it's fucking horrific.
you know,
It's
then I'm
so bad.
then I'm very lucky because I watched the first season. I thought the first season was pretty good. Then the second season was announced, and I thought, well, the first season ended like pretty conclusively. I don't really need a second season, so I didn't watch it, and then I heard it was bad. So I'm safe from all the trauma.
You're lucky. You're very lucky because it was a fucking train wreck. Like we say Sword Art Online is a fucking train wreck. The second season to Psychopaths is just what were they
Well,
thinking?
the second season of Psychopaths ruined something that was actually good.
Yeah, like it. Ooh, ooh. So I don't know anything about this third season. Is it like
No, I
going
watched
to
the
be?
preview, and it's just a still image saying the third season is coming. So
Yeah, yeah. So we don't know a whole lot about like judging from the image. Like I can't tell if it's like a prequel or is it going to be like a like several years later. Is it going to be like a its own like separate kind of thing? Because it says that it's going to be the third season
yeah,
sequel
there's
to Psychopaths
surprisingly
2.
I mean, if I were to look it up, I'll probably find it. But there's surprisingly little detail on
Yeah.
the pages.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna watch it because it's Psychopaths, and I like Psychopaths, even though season 2 was fucking terrible, and I want more Psychopaths. Is it so? It's production IG because I know that didn't they change hands, for the second season to someone else, and that's why it was fucking terrible.
Sorry, I don't know.
I think they did because I know I know the Butcher wasn't working as closely on season 2, which is
You
probably
need the
why it was
butcher.
fucking terrible. Yeah, you need that he's fucking great. Um,
Shall we move
so
on?
yeah, there's not much. I will say that the movie for Psychopaths was alright. It's not terrible, but it's not fantastic either. It's kind of just, nah, it's okay. Yeah. So moving on, we've got fucking China Yafubi or whatever. I don't even know how to say that.
No. This is very much Japanese. I watched Chia Yafuru. I watched a little bit of the first season, and it's basically a sports anime with a very traditional Japanese sport play game. It's basically you got the game is basically you hear the first part of a rhyme, and you have to uh, basically hit the card that contains the second part of the rhyme, and you have to do it before the opponent does. So the
Mm,
tree if you hear the apple, you better be already on your with your hands on doesn't fall far from the tree because the opponent will do it before you.
mm.
The
All right.
a and then right away to falls from the tree. Uh,
Sounds like the most boring thing to watch on God's green earth.
we might know it's character
Well,
drama also, of course.
yeah. Well, it's Madhouse, so I don't know. It might be alright, but it's
I
the
know when the
feds.
first season aired, people winked it like it was the second coming of Christ, and like I've heard nobody talk about the second season.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it either, so I don't know. But
From what I watched of the first season, I thought it was fine. Okay,
mm,
there I didn't continue watching it, so maybe that says something. But I didn't hate it. I
alright.
didn't thought it was bad or low quality.
Mm.
And apparently
Alright.
they kept up the quality because there's a third season.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so, coming up next, we've got Fate Grand Order, the absolute demonic fort of Babylonia. So,
Did you see the prequel episode to that?
I
Yeah,
I haven't seen I haven't watched anything other than the first movie. I've seen it.
The prequel, the episode 0 of it was really damn good.
I might have to go. I might have to go look that up then, because I've watched the movie, like the kind of like the first movie they put out, which was kind of sort of the start of the story ish. I've seen that,
Mm-hmm.
and that was pretty good. Because see, the thing with Fate Go right is the game itself, from what I know, is fucking horrific. It's
That's Mobage trash. I mean,
yeah, it's quite predatory and quite not people burning loads of money on it.
if it's on the phone, you take it home.
Nah, man, Girls Frontline's the shit, and we're gonna get to something else that's mobile shit in a minute. But yeah, I'm very interested in like the story aspect of it, because the thing with Fate, right, and at least Fate Go, is the more interesting part of it is actually the lore and the shit behind the characters and learning about the different like mythologies and stuff they come from, all the stories they come from, and like all the lore and shit. I follow a guy, I think his name's Otaku Daikin, who does these really long sort of story type videos where he talks about the history of the different characters and the stories around them, and it's quite that's the kind of shit I actually find more interesting about Fate than actually Fate. Like using Fate as a means to learn more about historical figures or fictional figures and that kind of thing. But from what I know about the Granddaughter storyline, it's pretty good. It's all right. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I haven't watched the episode 0, but I played the tiniest bit of Fate Go, but I'll be watching this because
Yeah.
it's another Fate thing, and I like Fate.
Um, on you guys know what Sakagabura is, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the there's some production materials for the first episode, and it's actually kind of interesting. Because they're talking about how they handle a specific scene when Mashu is kind of awakens in like a lab, like and in that scene in particular, it's pretty noteworthy because apparently over there for 3D stuff, they're starting to actually use Blender more. And they it wasn't completely 3D, but they did use some like they kind of mixed into the elements in Blender with the character model to kind of make transitions and rotations a bit smoother. It was actually a pretty interesting thing to read because it was done by the guy who was doing the keyframes as well. So he was doing dual purpose stuff with this.
I mean, looking at the preview on the YouTube here on any chart, I'm seeing a lot of 3D influences. Like sometimes the models look very 3D, but then the next few frames it is very much a 2D animation. So
I think we're starting to get to the point where the Japanese are learning the ways of the 3D a bit better, a little bit.
Yeah,
we're moving away. We're moving away from the days of Berserk 2016, and we're starting to get a bit better.
Yeah, if you have the end chart open, yeah, just click on the YouTube thingy and you'll see very quickly there is some very start at 10 seconds if you want to quickly or if you want to do it a little bit faster. You'll quickly see that there is some 3D models included in there.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. And I'll probably watch episode 0. I don't know, sometime later today, maybe if I've got the time. Because yeah, it seems it's a good time, and Fate's always pretty good. It's very good stuff.
Not always good, but
no, not always good, but it's at least fun to watch.
Interesting universe, and this is
interesting universe and characters. Yeah.
For me, I first played the visual novel when I was like 17, about to turn 18. So like oh no, whatever will I do? Anyways, so that was like 2009-ish. So like that, the whether I like it or not, the Fate franchise is actually a part of my formative years, as it were. So I tend to catch anything that comes out for it. I'm not going to play Fate Grand Order though. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, nah. Avoid that. Don't fall into that trap like some other of our friends have. So join the Azure Lane or the fucking
I tried playing Azure Lane. I could not.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to that in a minute. But
now we are.
Moving on, we have Assassin's Pride, which I'm going to open up the video for because I have no idea what it is. Yeah, it looks interesting. So what it says takes place in Takes place in a world where only those from noble families have the mana to be able to fight the monsters. Woo.
Ooh.
Kufka, or whatever his name is a noble born to a duke's family and is sent to tutor a young woman named Madeira or whatever. If it turns out that she has no talent with mana, she is to be secretly assassinated. Oh, okay, wow.
Oh no.
Tough time.
Sounds like the
Calling
plot.
it now, he's going to fall in love with her and he's going to have to defend her.
Yeah, I can smell that shit from a mile away.
This sounds like a Fire Emblem Three Houses problem of House Gutierre defending against the barbarians of the north.
I'm watching the trailer right now, and it seems pretty. I don't want to say generic, but it's
Well,
like,
I'm at 50 seconds, and I'm seeing some people getting bruised and stuff. So
I'm seeing all these characters, and they are. Look, there's the Cinderella.
I
there's the
haven't-
quiet one, and there's the like I'm seeing. The
I haven't
tropes.
read the light novel, or I'm not even sure if it's translated, so...
I will say that, as you were mentioning, from what I'm seeing, I think Roya fans are going to be a bit into this one. Because these girls seem to be getting beat the fuck up.
Pick the fuck up.
Oh, shit. But yeah, no, I don't know, it might be alright. I'm not
Oppressing women? Well, I am a true gamer.
Yeah. This will be a true show for the true gamers.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing anything that interests me greatly now.
Yeah, not yeah.
I'm not a real gamer, you see.
Yeah, no, you don't want to oppress the one.
No.
You don't want to assassinate the Wamans because they don't have the manas to fight the monsters.
Nah, they have other uses.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I don't know about that one. I put that one on the maybe pile. If I hear good things about it, I might do it. So now we've got the second season to Bakuchinchi wa Benkyu ga Dekikai 2. I don't know how good I was at that. Probably horrific.
Dekinai.
It's a show. It's got a 22-second trailer, which I've just brought up. So we'll see what it looks like.
I'll start it up.
There's
It's
there's pins. There's pins. There's a school. It's continue. Oh, look, it's the girls and they look like the girls. Oh no, we never learn. Oh no. When
No.
will you learn that your actions have consequences?
Oh yeah, that got a second season. I heard nobody talking about that when it first
Yeah.
aired.
I honestly have no idea what it even is, so I don't know.
It's basically
know.
it's a harem comedy.
Oh, so you're
thing.
saying a man has to teach women? Okay.
Well,
Oh yeah.
the thing is,
yeah.
I'll the thing is the super science girl. You got a super science girl and you got a super literature girl, and both of them want to do the exact opposite. The science girl wants to do literature, and the literature wants to do science, and they're both horrible at it, but they only know to study in their own profession. So that's why the science says, well, this doesn't make logical sense. La, la, la. Well, that doesn't have to be with writing, and the writing girls. Well, this question is vaguely interpretive, etc., etc. Now it's just yes or no, and then that's the premise, and I haven't really watched further than that.
Right. Well, yeah,
It's like talking to the hard sci-fi community.
Right,
Okay,
well,
I've laid out this incredibly detailed world. All of the science for space travel is accurate. What about the characters? The what?
Yeah. Alright, well then moving on, because I don't think I'm going to be watching that one myself. The hero is overpowered, but overly curious. What a fascinating title. I've got the trailer up, because, yeah, for the ones that I don't know anything about, I'm just pulling up the trailer, because, oh man, look at this buff dude.
Yeah.
Look at him. Oh
Ooh.
man, he's ripped.
He's doing the
He's
extra
ripped.
training with the side to side.
Oh fuck. All right, we got to pray to the Lord, pray to the abs. You gotta
Ew.
pray to the abs.
She is
Ooh.
praying to the abs.
She's praying to the abs. We got
Space.
chicken.
Space.
Fuck,
Space.
man.
Ooh,
This
more
what
abs.
is the what? Ooh,
See the pectoral muscles.
it's getting fucking spicy in here right now. Fucking
Look at this
Christ.
high lifts. Look at that.
This entire video is gonna get taken down for all
Oh
the
man, there's some boob
upper
jiggle.
male, that
No.
upper male body immunity.
He has no time for boob jiggle. He has to train more.
Yeah, he's got
Only
train.
only tight.
Boob jiggle is temporary.
Hard
the whole
muscles.
Body,
The
hard muscles are forever. So from what I can gather from that that trailer, the show is about the dude's fucking ripped abs. So the goddess, whatever, summons a hero to help her hard mode video game like world. The hero is exceptional in every way, but he is incredibly cautious to the point of buying 3 sets of armor, one to wear a spear and a spear for the spear, and going full power against weak slimes just in case. So, I guess it could be funny. Maybe.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's a bit too gaggy for me, but you know, maybe.
Who knows? I mean,
put in the maybe, Kyle.
the-
I don't know.
I mean those muscles though.
Yeah, you can't say no to those muscles. That's just a sin. You can't.
No.
You can't say no to that shit. All right, moving on. We have Kamurocho Sherlock. So we're gonna be. It's in the Yakuza universe.
Yeah.
Kiryu's gonna show up and say hi, and we're gonna have it's gonna be quite good. So I'm watching the trailer. It's looking like
Ooh, murder.
Ooh, oh no, there's a lot of goofy stuff, but it also
You know,
seems kind
I mean,
of
Dorora and Bakano, same author. It was still very fun. So
Wait,
why
was
not?
that fucking Trump just then? What the fuck?
not every American is Trump.
I know, but it looked like Trump. It's like,
But that is
Also, I'm obligated to watch it then.
yeah.
support your
I mean,
president.
I didn't vote for the guy. I didn't vote for the guy, but I will. It's an American representation. I have to support it. We're very underrepresented on the world stage.
Yeah, definitely. Oof. Yeah, there's some gruesome murders going on. There's some oh shit, knife. Oh no, he's about to get stabbed. Oh no.
No guns
Damn,
though.
Richard Sherlock.
It's not very American if you know no guns.
Oh, I saw a gun with a trigger there, so I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, but is
so,
it
yeah.
like a gun, or is it like those shitty little Japanese revolvers? That's
So
an important distinction.
yeah, so it seems to be kind of a interesting type thing. I'll put that on the maybe, because I don't know. I sometimes like a good detective thing, so yeah, it could be interesting. Have to.
Now
give it a look.
next up, more MOBA.
Alright, something I can talk about. So Azure Lane, I'm salty because this got a proper anime before Girls Frontline did. So Azure Lane is kind of interesting, and I'm not sure where they're gonna go with the story on this, because Azure Lane doesn't really have much of a story. Like, they actually stopped having cutscenes in the main story, like, a few chapters in, and they kind of put all the story stuff in the fucking events that they do. And they're not... Like, they try to do the whole reenactment World War type thing, but at the same time, it's like all in a simulation. So there's like... It's weird because there's like two things going on, right? There's the you playing the game is like one thing, and then the sirens, which are the baddies, are doing like simulations where they try to like fucking reenact different World War battles or some shit, and it fucking does a bunch of shit. And yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of weird. So I'm not entirely sure where the story's going to go in this and how they're going to handle it. But from what I'm guessing, they're probably going to take the route of these are the historic battles kind of thing. So perhaps this is going to be like Pearl Harbor, and then we might do like fucking whatever. Because I'm seeing Akagi and shit doing a bunch of stuff at the moment.
I just want to say they aren't really winning points for originality for me, because even the singer that's singing the opening, Mayan, she sang the OP wait, no, did she sing the OP of? I believe she sang the OP of Kantai Collection as well. That TV anime.
Possibly, yeah.
And that's basically the same. I mean, from what I'm seeing, it's not that different even from Kantai Collection, the anime.
I would say it. Well, the thing with Kantai was very less about the historical. Like, there was historical references, but it's very much not like reenactment. Azura Lane's stories typically tend to be more like reenactment with the
all
characters.
The events in Kantai Collection
Like,
are based around major historical events, though. That's
well,
the
I'm talking about the anime specifically, right? The Kantai anime was not very reenacty, so it's possible the Lane anime might, but I don't know. Again, I'm not sure how they're going to go about it, because the Bismarck event that was a few months ago was actually really, really good, and it was a proper like the boats that died, like Hood gets killed by Bismarck, and then Bismarck does a bunch of stuff and ends up getting killed, and it's like they do it to the letter almost a little bit with some of these events, but then sometimes they don't. It's very haphazard. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna watch it because I play the game and I think Azura Lane's alright. It's not as good as Girls Frontline, but hey, whatever.
Nah, it's
But
a
we'll
preemptive skip for me, because not play the game. Kantai Collection was bad.
I debate you on that. I don't know. I liked Kantai.
I mean
thought
the
Kantai was
anime,
alright.
right?
No, I'm talking about the anime.
Oh, alright. Well,
I actually liked the Kantai anime. I thought it was quite fun.
I dropped it like in the midway the second episode.
Oh, you missed the Curry Team 6. That's a shame. The best episode of the whole show.
Apparently so. Well, next up,
All right.
Beastars.
Next up, we have furries.
Well, this is not as much furry as it is brutal murder, I believe.
Apparently.
It's also full 3D, and it looks better than I expected. But
it looks okay.
Look at how brutal it is already. This isn't your happy furry.
There's going to be a lot of god-awful porn of this.
Oh no.
No, not if it all ends up like this.
Oh no, the llama. Oh no, not the llama. So yeah, no, it looks interesting. So it's definitely something unique that we've not seen in before. I reckon it's interesting style. You got the wolf dude who's obviously going to be the detective. Oh no, the rabbits are bullying the other rabbit. That's not nice.
No, rabbits.
Is this just Zootopia?
It's a more realistic Zootopia.
Oh, look, it's the deer. Oh, the deer's being seductive in the thing, and oh no, they killed the llama. This is not good. No, it's the female wolf.
It's a dog.
She got the blushing. She got the blushing.
Yeah, there's gonna be porn of this.
There's gonna be a lot of.
Well,
there was a time when anthropomorphic animals didn't bother me on a fundamental level. That was before the internet.
Yeah, that was before the furries existed. Before you come into contact with the furries. And then, yeah.
Yeah, no, the animation actually does look...
It does look... yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie. This shit looks fucking dank.
I mean, this looks... I also read the description. And it reads, and it looks very much like a, oh, everything is fine, and then it's brutal murder. No, that was just the one thing, everything is fine. It's very much a hidden world, I feel, of drama and tension and murder
all that kind of shit. Yeah, no, I'm down for it. I'll put it on the watch list. I might check it out. It looks interesting. So moving on, we've got High School Girl 2. Didn't watch High School Girl 1, so I
read the manga. I didn't like the animation of the first season. The CGI was very poor quality, and it kind of. I watched it and I just thought to myself, I'd rather just be reading the manga.
This preview is only 15 seconds, but it has some.
Yeah.
I mean, the animation, the 3D animation is still the same, but it has some funny inserts. So, if you
it seemed like it was alright, but I didn't pick it up because I wasn't too particularly into it. So, yeah. All right. Well,
a guy who
moving
gets
on.
confessed too much and all the troubles with it.
All right. So yeah, okay. I guess I'll bring up the trailer if it'll load.
Nice.
Holy shit! I'm getting an ad on my trailer. What?
Yeah, it's
not
another.
on YouTube.
It's not YouTube.
Oh, screw that shit.
Yeah, basically.
I can't be bothered. So it seems okay, maybe. I don't know.
No,
This could turn into a survival horror depending on how quickly they come at him. Turn into a horde shooter, you never know.
Oh, this is very much a look at the curves, look at the thick thighs and the opulent bosoms.
One of the girls has glasses, so I mean that's good.
Yeah. Oh, it might be good. I'm gonna put it as not watching, but if I hear good things,
We need a replacement for Hinsuke.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, we have my political standings, the anime.
No Guns Life. This actually looked pretty interesting.
I've heard some really fucking good things about this from some people that I trust the opinion of. So
this guy has a gun for his face.
We have a 2-minute trailer too, so we've got a lot to. Yeah. So I don't actually know a whole lot about the story or the world or anything. I just know that this dude is fucking badass as fuck. is what I've been told.
Cyberpunk world where people weaponize their bodies and the main character has a revolver for his head.
I think he's got like... Isn't like most of his body just guns? Or something? Like he's made most of his body just guns. It's fucking great.
Projection IG is working on this.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Oh no, Madhouse. They mentioned somebody from Ghost in the Shell working on that.
Yeah, I think it might be directors or like people that worked on those shows or something. But it looks good.
And I like cyberpunk stuff, so I'm probably gonna check that one out definitely.
Yeah, I dig the cyberpunkness of it. I dig the idea of just dudes got guns, just dudes gunmen. I like the idea of that.
I've seen on screen there has been some shots of human characters, and they all have a very not rough, let's say urban. It's very mature. I don't like seeing mature.
Have a heavy shading.
Yeah, heavy. It's very heavy and oppressive look.
Motherfucker punching a train.
Yeah.
He's not suplexing it, so he doesn't get points for that, but he punches it. So yeah, no, I'm definitely watching that. I think that looks like it's going to be really good.
Sir Aruhino Sora.
Yeah, it's basketball time.
Another one.
That I'm probably
wasn't Tri Nights also basketball?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm not particularly into the sportsy type stuff. So yeah,
this very much it's probably going to be gay.
It very much looks like another drama over the sports.
People seem to like that kind of thing. So
why not?
It peaked at Slam Dunk for me.
Next we have Radiant Season 2. Season 2 of...
What was the first one about?
I
don't remember it.
No, me neither.
I have no idea what it is or what it's about. I see magical flying horses. I see people screaming.
Flying bison.
Flying bison.
Bison,
flying
yes.
bison man. Something falling from the sky. Falls into like a clockwork.
Section 13 must be destroyed.
Oh no.
Guy goes wrong.
Eye patch man. Flashback. Got kid. All these
Some
characters. Yep.
character will die already.
Oh no.
Strange guy. You have a horn on in your hair. You're strange already.
Oh no. It's Hornman.
Oh no, a bandage on on the cheek.
Oh.
He's leaving.
Oh no. The drama. He's leaving. His journey's
A new
decided for
adventure.
himself. He's a Hornman. He's gonna go to a new land. He's gonna
With a magician on a deer.
He's gonna become a deer rider. he's gonna ride
Radiant.
those deer.
21
Radiant.
episodes.
Alright.
So
Yeah,
that's
all
good.
right. Oh well, yeah, well, people that are fans of that can like that. I'm gonna probably.
The second, the next one is ridiculous. So I'll give it a watch.
Okay, so it's.
I
called-
want to point something out. This same studio is animating 2 separate isekai things this season. Because if you look over,
Wow, this is a fucking description and a half. Holy shit! So, 7 high school students caught in an airplane accident, wake up in the middle of a fantasy world, magic, blah 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 blah, blah 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 blah. War on the evil nobles, blah 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 blah. Wisdom and technology. Okay, so it sounds like typical isekai affair. Let's watch.
Well,
oh wait, hang on. I think I might have saw something about this. I'm not sure.
the first thing of action that they're apparently doing is building a nuclear reactor.
without infrastructure.
Apparently so. Well, magic.
Oh,
Okay. So we got a girl who can weld with her hands. Got sword lady, swordsman lady.
You got super politician. You got super magician. You got super mechanic, etc. And all these characters combine to basically create a new country or something ridiculous.
a politician equivalent of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Super politician wakes up. Oh, it's Big Titty Elf.
Yep.
Big Titty Elf. Can't go wrong.
Also, they were in an airplane accident, but only the 7 of them woke up in another world. What happened to everyone else?
So you have big titty elf, big titty dog girl. You got swordsman. You got all of the flippin' character types there. Yeah, no, all right. It seems all right. I'll put it in the maybe camp. Maybe I'll look into that one. Might be good. So next we got Kino bloody something season 2 of something.
Kono no nobody fucking cares.
Well, it has a second season. People cared.
Somebody cares, or they were just commissioned for 2 seasons.
I don't know. It seems like romance.
Yeah, drama.
Yeah.
It seems like
drama, romance.
You mean it seems like the tags on the thing.
See, I really wish that if they put like the second core of this show, they also added a description so people that like I have no idea what this is about. It looks like they're playing an instrument or something. Like I don't know.
Well,
So
I'll give it
moving on. We got.
I'm going to give it a boring
Yeah.
Koto Club. Oh, it's a traditional instrument. Oh, the club will be terminated if there are not enough members.
Oh, no.
A transfer student, a delinquent joins.
You mean the club where they play the most boring things known to man is about to be terminated? Holy shit.
But the delinquent joins. Oh no, how will this ever go?
Okay. So the next one is didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life? So
No, you have to use the Japanese thing or we're gonna lose our cloud, so it has to be Watashi Noryoku wa Heikenchi de ta itayone. Whatever the translation.
Yeah,
I hear your Japanese credentials already.
When she turns 10 years old, blah 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 blah, hit with a horrible headache, memories of her previous life is blah 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 blah. Okay, so it's not like isekai. It's like reincarnation. Like when she's 10 years old.
It is isekai, but they do at
Like,
least
you
the
just, like,
establishing
you
premise
just,
seems a bit different.
like you just get your old memories back. Okay. A previous life as a 18-year-old Japanese girl. That life changed abruptly. However, died trying to aid a little girl and met God during the meeting. She made an odd request and asked for average abilities in her next life, but few things, especially wishes, ever go quite as planned. Like, why? I'm confused. Why would you just want average abilities? Like, you don't want to be like fucking.
Maybe she was a rich girl or something and didn't like it.
Maybe I'm watching the trailer now and having a look. Okay, so she's on the thing talking to God, and she's like just having a chat.
Oh, looks cute.
Says I want to have average shit, and then gets reincarnated up. It's fucking oh yeah, all kinds of crazy shit.
It very much looks like a magical girl show than anything.
Maybe, I don't know. There's redhead. Redhead
Probably
Simpson
won't be as good as intro was.
is cute, bloody. Oh yeah, look at that cute night girl, or boy, or maybe I don't know. Oh, there's the big titty girl. Gotta have that. You got a baker girl, or some money girl, bank girl. I don't know. Then she's doing the thing, and they become a team. And they're gonna go out and kill all the monsters. She got a broken sword or some shit. And oh yeah, look, it's the team, and they're cool. And she's a healer. And then they're fighting the things and things. And
Amazing descriptions.
Yeah, I'm describe. This is how I describe what I'm seeing. Like it's just like she's doing the thing.
Gonna go ahead and have the forethought of just skipping the description of Granblue Fantasy because it's the sequel to the first season.
It's Granblue. Cares. If you like Granblue, then you like Granblue.
Mostly because this one I didn't pick this. I didn't see this one, but the premise actually sounds interesting. Babylon. The suspense story centers around Zen Seizaki, a prosecutor with the Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's Office. When investigating an illegal act by a pharmaceutical company, he stumbles upon a conspiracy over an election for an autonomous new zone established in Western Tokyo. And that sounds pretty interesting just from as a starting premise. I kind of like suspense stories like that, so as a suspense story sounds very kind of like 90s sci-fi or whatever ish, and kind of its feel. So yeah, no, I didn't catch that, but that actually does sound interesting.
Yeah, it might be kind of cool. I'd say we can maybe put that in the old maybe. So moving on, Fairy Gone 2. I watched like the first episode of Fairy Gone, and I was not impressed. I was kind of like,
I watched the first two, and I dropped off. I wanted to watch more, but other stuff,
I kind of like the style, but just it wasn't. I wasn't into it, so I'm probably not gonna pick that up again. Next we've got Pet. So psychic suspense story evolves around people who possess abilities to infiltrate people's minds and manipulate their memories. Powers have been used in the underworld for covering up incidents, assassinations, other deeds. These powers can not only destroy other people's spirits, but also corrupt users' own hearts. At the same time,
you should watch the trailer.
Yeah. All right. Let's have a look.
It's mostly a goldfish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a good goldfish. Yeah. Look at goldfish. Look at him.
Goldfish.
Look at him swimming around.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Wait, something bad. Goldfish, no! You're outside the water.
It's dead. Too good for this world.
No, not the goldfish.
Oh no, anime guy. He's boring. Get away.
God, we're hacks.
The goldfish was my favorite character though.
And now he's dead. No. He wasn't in the water.
No, poor goldfish.
Oh no, they're wrong goldfish. Oh, he's gone into the anime world. He's gone isekai.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know about that one. I'm probably gonna not go on that one. Right. Next is Stars Align, coming of age story. Tennis.
Boy, the club is going
Alright.
to shut down. Oh
Yeah, pretty much.
no!
Yeah, see, we get into the bottom of the barrel now, so we're probably going to be fucking blazing through the rest of these. We got Muscle Man.
Some Another
Um,
World. So this is so boring. Some Another World doesn't make it boring. Everything else makes it sound boring.
Oh my god, so it's going to be WWE fucking wrestling fucking
Yeah.
isekai. Oh,
That's
fuck.
why I said it's boring.
It looks fucking crazy. Oh, he loves the animals. Look, he loves them. He's Tiger Man. He's wrestler. He's gonna do wrestling moves on the fucking animals. And man, if you were in a WWE, I can see you getting it. I can see people who would be into this because fucking. Oh no, he's suplexing the princess. I might watch this just on the absurdity alone. Just because it looks fucking stupid. I'll put that in maybe, just on the absurdity. Next we've got a sentence of a bookworm who'll do anything to become a librarian.
I've heard some decent. I think this is the isekai where she gets reborn or something, and then she first has to learn the language, which is a novel thing, and then she does some isekai stuff, like of becoming a librarian and trying to read and whatever. I don't know, some mindfuckery is going on.
Oh no.
In the trailer, like in 1:30.
Yeah. Alright, moving on, we got Samurai Megan no something. It is a new adaptation of this immortal swordsman dude.
Oh, Blade of the Immortals getting a new adaptation?
Maybe. I guess that's what this
Oh
is.
shit, that's pretty hype.
Oh, alright, well.
The manga's fucking great. Like, if you haven't read it, I would honestly suggest it. It's a classic.
Yeah, alright, well, there you go. Maybe it's fucking worth looking at then.
I have a soft spot for Chambara media and stuff like that, so that's definitely going to be a watch.
Well, I'm seeing certainly a lot of blood and a lot of shit going on.
A lot of thick lines and shocked people.
Oh, there's some fights going on. Oh no! Oh wow, he got fucking sliced into some fucking chunks. Holy shit! Oh boy!
Oh no!
He got his head cut off. Oh boy! This is gonna get us demonetized. Fucking.
Like we're ever monetized.
Yeah. Oh, his arm got cut off. Oh no, I was kissing the girl.
Oh, Amazon Prime is funding the production of this. 'Cause it says Amazon Original.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Huh. That's interesting.
We'll get a sponsorship from Amazon and support their lovely workers.
Okay,
their lovely
cool.
workers.
Hey, Bezos, contact us.
Yeah.
Baby, get us on speed dial, Raj.
Alright, so that's a thing that I'll probably put on the watch possibly list. Moving on, we got Welcome to the Demon School. There's demons? Demon School?
Oh no.
Look.
That should be horrible. The happy world of demons.
The Demon King is dragging the boy. He's like, what are you gonna do with me? Oh no, this is already looking pretty fucking sketch.
It looks
rather
low quality.
Will you be my grandson? What the fuck? Welcome to the happy world of demons. They don't know I'm a human. My name is some dude. And, look, there's all the colourful demons, and there's a doggo girl thing, and this
it very much looks funded by Crunchyroll.
Yeah. So this is where the fucking Guardian High Spice fucking budget went.
Looks like they're indeed the same budget level.
Yeah, I'm not.
Another police drama is the next one.
Man, we've been getting quite a lot of those lately.
Well, it's another world police drama, apparently. Just slightly, not isekai, I believe. I'm watching the trailer.
Yeah, I'm skipping around the trailer a little bit. The guy gets shot.
Oh no! Somebody in the police, I think, getting shot.
There's an elf.
They're elf.
and a cute girl and a samurai.
It's a cute girl who's apparently blowing up the bridge. So.
Oh no, maybe not. Maybe not such a cute girl. Oh, there's a.
Well, she still is
swords
cute
woman.
as she's blowing up the bridge, so she's forgiven.
Yeah, there's bad man, drones,
Bad woman.
sniper man. Sniper man is snipper, and a knife to the eye guy, and yeah. All right, well, I don't know, it looks.
He's
maybe
looking very angry as he pulling out the cuffs.
Yeah, no. Maybe it's okay. I'm not sure. I'll give that one a maybe. Next we got Valix Love. This looks like more generic kind of stuff. There's a dude.
Well, never disregard
yeah.
the generic stuff.
You never know.
Machikado is a very fun show. And it's
yeah, but I wouldn't say it particularly noteworthy. The thing up next, Hokago Sakura Club. I'm actually kind of interested in that because I do actually help run a Discord, and I am involved with translations for Japanese tabletops and Japanese board games in the West, so that's going to be interesting. Plus, Street Cred, they're playing Settlers of Catan on the cover art there. That's a classic if you've never played it.
Oh, I've played it.
Yeah. So Ellie knows how legit that shit is, how intense it gets.
Oh no, that Black Knight. The wars break out over the Black Knight.
So yeah, so it looks like they made an anime specifically for Lolly.
Yeah. The only thing that would make it better is if Quick Start got an adaptation. As Quick Start specifically about tabletop games.
All right, well, that sounds pretty good. Next we have a show for me, which doesn't have a trailer. No!
Rifle is beautiful, also known as Gun is fine.
Gun is fine. Fine gun.
I know some people were kind of like iffy because the Japanese NRA was apparently sponsoring, but I think they don't realize that their National Rifles Association is completely different from the American National Rifles Association.
It's almost like different countries have different fucking groups that do.
It's an American thing. We tend to view our politics as being like the entire world politics, and I try really hard to tell people, no, that's not the case at all. Stop.
Yeah, it's like obviously everywhere is America. Everywhere is the same. There's no like personal local politics.
So I'm already expecting when this comes out that, and I'm actually going to like hard bet something. ANN's gonna write a article where they get really pissed about this.
Well, let me read the description. So, what's her name is a high school first year girl who loves rifle shooting. Entered the high school because it has shooting club, but finds the club had been disbanded.
Oh no!
She had only one. Yeah. Oh no. But she had only one day to find enough members to reform the club. But luckily, she was able to find 3 other first-year girls who she had met at a competition in middle school. Thus begins the daily. So it seems like it's gonna be just your typical fucking.
It also seems like
thing.
Something that people are going to get unreasonably upset about because of the premise. Remember when what was it? The
there was the airsoft one.
Yeah, and that was like
Jeizu
right after.
Otaku. Yeah, Jeizu Otaku had like a massive fucking tism about that back in the day.
Yeah.
Because she was like, oh, guns, it normalizes the guns and the things, fucking.
What the Japanese don't care about the because that was right after Sandy Hook, and it's like, who would have thought the Japanese don't care about a shooting that happens in the U.S.?
It's almost like it doesn't fucking. It's almost like it's not comparable, and it's almost like, and that was even a worse case as well because it was airsoft, right? Like,
yeah,
it's like that's not the same. And I know that the Japanese actually have a really big airsoft community over there. Like,
Tokyo Marui actually produces really good like replicas of things, like replicas of guns from video games. From Ghost in the Shell, they make replicas of that. It's very involved with their cosplay community too.
Yeah, airsoft is a really big thing over there. Like,
Plus, over there they don't have to have the orange tip law because
they're not fucking stupid.
well, because they don't have actual gun ownership outside of hunting and like sporting isn't legal for personal use. So most people can safely assume that if a guy's walking around with something that looks like a gun, it's probably airsoft. There's actually, in the first episode of Full Metal Panic, there's a gag with this where the teacher assumes that the very real Uzi that Sagara is carrying around is just an airsoft rifle and confiscates it.
That's great. So, yeah, moving on from that, we've got some Chuniburi thing, the boys.
Chunibyo.
Oh, there's a girl. Oh, there's a girl that's got the eye patch. Oh, look at that.
ZX Code, isn't that a Oh no, I'm looking at the thing next to it.
This is the guy and the dude who does the JoJo reference, and he's got the guy, the Sunnies, and the
It looks awful.
Yeah. I'm not into it. Let's see if we can blaze through some of these. XE Code.
Wasn't ZX Code something that had an adaptation in the past?
I have no idea.
No fucking idea. All I'm seeing is just girls doing
Girls
things.
in a laboratory.
Technology girls.
Magitech.
She's got magic tech. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's just, yeah. Then we've got Phantasy Star Online.
Second
2.
season. Didn't watch the first one.
No, I didn't even. But
Next one, based on a
might be
mobile
good,
game. Well, that's a sign of quality.
yes, my stand heroes. So it seems like
Gay
pretty
mobile
boy,
shit.
pretty boy mobile game.
God, the gay stuff doesn't look particularly good. I feel really bad for the Fujos this season.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that I met back in Polytech who I was talking to about this recently, and she's really fucking like struggling because she wants to find a mobile game that's like male orientated, that has male characters in it, that's not just sword boys.
Because I know Token Rambu is really big.
Yeah, like Sword Boys is like the only one that's specifically male, like, but she even said like maybe not even specifically male focused, just has males in it. Like, I know the one that's coming out possibly really soon called Arc. What's it called? Like, it's called Arc something. It's the one that's a tower defense game. With a bunch of like bunny people, like they're all based on like mythical creatures or something. That's got some male characters and a lizardman as well in it. Yeah, but other than like maybe Granblue and a few others, like the representation. But I think it's weird because you'd think there'd be a big Fujoshi fucking market for that kind of thing, but I don't know. Moving on, we got cute girls on jet skis.
Well, and guns.
Oh, and guns. Oh, let me have a look at
this one is actually being headed by, this is actually a multimedia project, and it's being headed by, the guy who worked on the, Senran Kagura series.
Oh, shit, really?
So this is his new thing.
Oh, yeah, I saw the boob jiggle. Yeah, that's a Senran. Yeah, alright.
Remember Wave Race 64? Remember Wave Race 64 as a kid? Well, you can now enjoy it as an adult.
Yeah, look at that.
And look at the school-specific outfits and characters and bikes and emblems and all that kind of stuff.
And you've got all the different characters. Look, these are the Garus, right? Like
you got your traditionals.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on the list of something to watch.
The more I'm watching this, it actually reminds me of what was it, that fucking Kujoi one, the fucking ass slapping sports show.
Oh, Keijo,
yeah.
Keijo was fun.
Keijo is great, yeah. I liked Keijo. So yeah, maybe I'll put that on the maybe. That's the switch from a hard no to a maybe. That's pretty interesting. Alright, next we have Asian office worker.
African office worker.
Oh, African office worker.
Are you mixing up your...
Are we ready to kiss the rains down in Africa?
Look, we're at the end of the fucking shit. I'm starting to lose my mind. So it's the lion. This looks like fucking Agretzko, but it's a lion.
Well, this is
This got greenlit because of Agretsuko, let's be honest.
Well, this is I feel this is mostly again a commentary, a parody, a satire of Japanese worker.
Jesus, that fucking lizard just fucking broke the back of that fucking toucan. Holy shit. This actually looks fucking crazy. Like, not gonna lie, like, the animation, like, mental shit. Like, the changing animation styles and shit. Like, we're going from 3D to 2D to, like, surrealist and shit. I don't know, this might actually be kind of fun. Like, maybe this is the sleeper hit, right? This could be the sleeper hit of the show. And the turtle. Yeah, I don't know, I'll put that on the maybe, because, you know, maybe it's a sleeper hit. You don't know. Next we have actors, songs, connection, which looks like Pretty Boys.
Yeah, it is Pretty Boys.
Yeah, alright, Pretty Boys doing pretty things. Okay. Then we've got Gundam, Build Drivers.
Yeah.
I don't watch
the Build
Gundams,
Divers
so.
was I still haven't gotten around to Build Divers because I'm struggling to get through Gundam Try, which was the Build Fighters prior to that. So yeah, the gimmick with Build Divers is that they're actually in a VR environment rather than using the models to fight Gacha Robot or Gacha Robo style.
So it's no longer Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's Yu-Gi-Oh motorcycles now.
So, well, to be honest, I do quite like the idea of the Gundam build type thing where it's like...
Oh, Build Fighters was great. The first Build Fighters, it was really fun.
Yeah, I like the concept of taking the figurines and doing.
It was
unabashedly.
Unabashedly just like in love with what it was, and it's like it's nice to see a show that is actually aimed at fans and it doesn't completely fucking deride them, which is really odd to happen nowadays. Because like every other like major nerd franchise is just like trying to shit on its fans hardcore.
Yeah, which is weird. But, I reckon I'm not going to watch it myself, but I reckon it's probably good for the people that are into that kind of thing. Next we've got Shin something, China something. Story takes place in the 19th century. Also, we're going to get China stuff, okay?
The video
is unavailable!
Oh.
That makes sense. Moving on.
I know they were purging...
Oh. Oh, well, no.
Well, I know they were purging a lot of Chinese accounts over the whole Hong Kong protest thing, so...
No.
Who knows?
Next is Zoids, and the video is not... it's one of these videos that's fucking from the sub.
I haven't watched Zoid Wilds, the first season. All I know is that the difference was that rather than piloting them, they were riding them, which was an interesting choice.
Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't jump into it, to be honest. I watched the original Zoids animes when I was a kid. I was actually very into shit as a kid.
I heard anyone talk about Wild, so I'll probably shotgun that at some point and see what it's like.
See what it's about. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't like the. I preferred them being like pilotable mech type things rather than the idea of it being like a beast that you ride, I guess. But that's possibly just me. And then to finish off the main animes, we've got what looks like a kids type show, possibly Kenju Step Wanabada something, which is apparently it's based on the kaiju of Ultraman, and not just enemies defeated by the heroes. So it's going to be kind of like a thing for kids. Okay.
It's the slice of life of kaiju. That's cute.
Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah, that might be right.
Next up, some TV shorts. A third season of something more banana. A sort of sorts become pretty ladies instead of pretty boys. And then another pretty boy thing.
Yeah. And then we've got leftovers, obviously Stone, Fire Force, and Wonderland.
Basically already talked about them.
We already talked about that. And then for movies,
we're never going to see them until in half a year later.
Yeah. So there's not much point. And then OVA is pretty similar. It's not.
Well, I mean, it is some.
Hey,
stuff.
more girls front line. Yeah, boy.
Xiao
the
Yun
adaptation.
Qing Yang Ren Xing Xiao Yun Chang.
Yeah, bring up the trailer just for me, just because it's me. I think this one's a different one to the other one, possibly. Yeah, this is
Oh.
a different one. This is different than the healing chapter. This is one that's a bit more.
Yeah, or I already played this trailer somehow, so
Yeah.
it's not too bad.
Yeah, I don't think because your healing chapter is different to this, like, but this is kind of similar where I think it's going to be sort of like this the skit type stuff. I really wish they would do an actual like proper anime, and I hope that the popularity of the healing chapter is definitely getting quite popular. So I'm happy about that because I want a proper adaptation because the story in Girls Frontline is why I fucking play the game because it's good.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'm not into MOBA game, but like, I actually know people into it, and they do actually explain the story. Apparently, the last event with Valhalla was really good.
Oh, Valhalla. Yeah, the Valhalla collab was really well written. Like, that shit was a fucking virtual novel. like, they fucking went all out and had this really crazy, like, mind fuck story where the whole story takes place inside the mental mainframe of a drunk T-doll. And then they have to save the virtually created AIs within the drunk T-doll's mind by extracting them. But dude, it's fucking wild.
That's pretty crazy,
dude. I'm butchering it because it was actually really fucking because when you it's like you don't know any of this starting out. Like you think that it's just like based in the same world, but then there's a lot of really interesting changes, and you start to realize that something's wrong. And then as it progresses, it gets wilder and wilder and wilder, and then you just fucking they have the payoff at the end where they explain what actually happened, and it's fucking crazy.
Oh, I'll have to read a synopsis or something like that.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty good.
Go find like a YouTube video where someone just plays the story parts of it, because it's fucking crazy. But the story in Girls Frontline, like, actually is legit really good. Like, there's a manga for it, and if you don't want to play the game, go out and find the translation of the manga, because it's a 1-to-1 adaptation of the story of the game, and I actually think the manga is even better because it adds context and extra like parts to kind of build off what the game has that you don't because there's stuff they can't do in the game because of the limitations that they can do in like a different format, which is why I'd really love to have it as a thing, because the story is like, it gets really, really dark in some places, like the Operation Deep Dive, where you learn about UMP-45 and her backstory and history and how she's
apparently it was really fucked.
Traumatized. Yeah, it's really fucked up what happens, and it's like you don't expect it from like Girls Frontline, but I think the writing team is just fucking phenomenal on Girls Frontline, and it's why I keep playing it, because it's just interesting. So yeah, that is kind of the end of the season, I guess.
I do have like 3 things I want to mention. Overlord, play this Clementine, and then how she's going to die again.
I fucking ripped the guy who got a Dakimakura before her arc ended. Like, no lie, somebody on 8chan actually got a Dakimakura of Clementine before the episode in which he died, and yeah, he got mind broken by that part.
No.
No.
And wait, before anything else, I want to point out 2 things from Polygon Pictures, who did most what I know. I forgot the name of the one thing, but they did Knights of Cydonia, and they are basically a 100% 3D CGI animated studio, and they are doing apparently an OVA NOA/special about boxing, mechanical boxing, and a movie with A Human Lost. And I don't know how fast we will be able to watch them, but I'm always interested.
Probably be good.
I'm always interested in what to do. Are they doing Beast Wars? Because maybe I believe they would
Not sure.
were.
I don't know. But I reckon this season's shaping up to be pretty
Oh,
good. There's
they won't.
definitely
They are
some.
not.
All right. So this season's shaping up. Fall season's shaping up to be pretty good. There's definitely, obviously, like the major hits, right? We're gonna obviously see the major hitters. I think that
Oh wait.
you will see
I-
some stuff like Beasters and Ezra Lane and a few others, Granddaughter and whatnot, kind of rise up a little bit. I think there's also possibly a couple of sleeper hits in there. Like, I think No Guns No Life is going to be a bit of a sleeper because I'm not sure how many people actually know a lot about
Sorry,
that one.
Naretsu, I have to interrupt
Mhm.
you. Polygon Pictures
Yeah.
made Pingu in the City.
Ooh.
Lit.
Lit. Fucking legit.
And of course that they
Um,
blame, but how can that ever
who ca-
compare to
How can
Pingu
it
in
even compare?
Pingu in
Yeah.
the City?
Fuck yeah, man. That's lit as fuck. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a few sleepers this season, but I definitely feel like it's going to be very much dominated by Hiroaka Sword Art and a few of the other more hyped shows this season. But overall, I think there's a lot of stuff to watch, and it's definitely not going to be a super dry season. There's a little bit of something for everyone. So, yeah, that's my final thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Nah, I might actually watch something this season. I will hold it off until like the last second and be like, oh, I should watch things.
Alright.
Well, at least the Fate thing, because Fate is, and I
Yeah.
will keep Beastar. I'll watch Beastars because some good old
Yeah.
psychological drama, horror, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's some good stuff to
And
get
the
in on.
ridiculous isekai with making a nuclear plant and all that stuff.
Yeah, like I said, there's some sleepers I think in there that might turn out to be quite good. So yeah, I guess we'll cap it off here, and we'll see you guys all next time.
Well,
later.
what next year?
Next year, yeah.
Oh yeah, crap,
Oh,
man.
I'm going to spoil myself. Oh, I see. Oh, wait. Hehehehe.